Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you guys are new. As you guys can probably see by the title, today's video is a very exciting video because I'm going to be talking about the products that I highly recommend for beginner makeup artists. Over the course of me uploading makeup artist kit videos on my channel, you guys have wanted to see more affordable options for my makeup kit. Before I begin, I just wanted to put two different quick disclaimers out there. Number one, these are my own personal opinions, so what works for one person may not work for another, so these are not guaranteed to make you a better artist or anything. You're not a better artist because of your products, you're a better artist because of the skill set that you have and the practice that you have. Just keep that in mind, so don't heavily focus on the things in your kit. Second disclaimer is that affordable is a very, very subjective word, so what's affordable to one person is not necessarily affordable to the next. Alright, I have a whole entire list of products that I'm going to be going over here, so in case you guys see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. I'm going to be going in the order that I usually apply makeup to people's faces. As a makeup artist, when you first start out, it's obviously very expensive to just start from scratch. If you don't work for any sort of cosmetic company and you don't get discounts anywhere, it's very pricey, as some of you may have figured out, to kind of start building your kit and everything because you're literally starting from zero. So the thing that I highly recommend is getting products that are very universal, so products that provide a wide range of colors and everything that you can have in one palette. Most cost-efficient thing for brows is using a brow powder palette. So you can also use eyeshadow shades for these too if you guys really just want to skip the brow powder altogether, because honestly they're pretty much the same formulation. But if you want an actual separate brow powder palette, then I would definitely recommend the BH Cosmetics one. This one's really great because it has a really versatile amount of color ranges, and then at the bottom it actually has a bunch of brow waxes. So all of the brow waxes at the bottom are really easy to basically either put the brow hairs in place, or you can also set it in place like a gel. I ended up selling that obviously when I ended up getting the ABH palette that I have now. But again, very good to have as a starter makeup artist because you're gonna have a ton of different shades to work with, so it's literally gonna suit every single skin tone that you work on. And I forgot to mention this, it is $25, so it is a little bit more on like the middle of the road price range. Like $25 is kind of middle range, but just consider this, that you are getting a whole entire palette with like every single shade you're ever gonna need for a brow. If you want to go a little bit less expensive than that, Mayron is actually really good at doing brow powders as well, so I would definitely also check that out too, and those are $18.95. So I would definitely recommend those two if you guys are looking for really good brow options. Okay, next I'm going on to eyeshadow primer because I usually go on to eyes next. So Milani actually makes a really good eyeshadow primer. Actually, Milani makes really good products in general, but their eyeshadow primer actually is like nude colored, so you think it would kind of go on like a nude color, but it actually dries completely clear. It's really awesome at basically making some sort of tacky base for your eyeshadows to sit on top of so they won't move and be super waterproof. So Milani does really good eyeshadow primers. That one is also very affordable in my opinion. It's only $7 and it lasts a pretty decent amount of time. The other option that's actually $7 as well, it's called the NYX Proof It Waterproof Eye Primer, and that one's really good as well. The next thing I am going on to is eyeshadow. Obviously, I really love eyeshadows in general. I have collected tons of eyeshadow palettes in my day and love every single one of them that I have and have kept so far. But honestly, for the drugstore, and I know you guys are probably really tired of hearing this from like multiple different YouTubers by now, but Morphe makes incredible eyeshadows. I really didn't like their old formulation when they first started out as a company, but after they got bigger and were able to reformulate, oh my gosh. Their eyeshadows literally rival super high end, and they also even beat like the high-end palettes too. If you guys have never checked out Morphe's eyeshadows before, they actually range in sizes, which also means that they range in price range too. So if you guys are looking for a more affordable option, definitely go with the smaller palettes obviously, but then they do range up to a really large palette too. I believe that they start with their 9-pan palettes, and those are around $15, I want to say. Or nope, they're $12, just kidding. Those are $12, and then the biggest ones I believe are $35. The other one, if you guys want to splurge a little bit more, then I would go with Juvia's Place. Juvia's Place makes incredible eyeshadows, and also their pans are huge. Like, I think their actual eyeshadow pans are like this big, no joke. So even though it's only 9 pans that you get in an eyeshadow palette for $20, they're really good because they're giant pans. I don't understand how they did this, but they're the only company that I've found so far that you can literally swirl your brush, literally dig in the pan, and for some odd reason there's like zero fallout. They're not hard pressed into the pan or anything because they have full on pigmentation when you put it on somebody. So I really don't know what the sorcery in that is, but Juvia's Place makes really good eyeshadow palettes as well. Next up, we're going on to eyeliner, and Maybelline's Blackest Black Gel Liner is honestly the bomb. It's been talked about by many YouTubers, and it's honestly like one of my tried and true gel liners if I want to draw something on with a brush. I usually love black gel liners. I have the Inglot one right now, which isn't super far off from price range. I think that one's like $18, but that's like kind of expensive for some people. So Maybelline's gel liner is $9.99, so $10, and also comes with a brush too. It's like the blackest, most waterproof gel liner, honestly, and it pretty much rivals the Inglot liner, to be totally honest. It's a very, very affordable option, and it stays put, so you won't have to worry about anything transferring or creasing or anything on your clients. So Maybelline's Blackest Black Gel Liner is definitely a go-to. And then as far as a actual pencil liner, I would choose the NYX Slide On Glide On waterproof pencils. So they're gel pencils. It just slides on really, really easily. They glide on really smoothly, and they are super waterproof and dry down pretty quickly. I really like them a lot to put on clients' waterlines because they do not budge whatsoever. They're so, so fantastic. And again, they don't tug or pull or anything. And they come in a wide variety of colors as well. I think they have like, I don't know, like 20 some colors or something. Some of them are metallic, some of them are matte. It's honestly really, really incredible, the shade range that they have. So you can literally get like all of your pencils in NYX and be fine. And if I didn't mention, those are $8. Next thing is mascaras. I have two different favorites, and they're actually both from L'Oreal. So L'Oreal just is kind of like my tried and true mascara. I feel like I'm old school when it comes to drugstore products. Like I really don't dabble in like the newer stuff really. I really like two L'Oreal mascaras, as I said before. So one of them is a super talked about product, and it was definitely an OG product back in its day, but it's the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara. That one is so, so great. Again, it really doesn't matter what kind of mascaras you get for your clients because you're going to be using disposables on them. You can't use the actual applicator that's on the mascara, so as long as it's really black and really waterproof, that's pretty much all you want to be concerned about. But I like the fact that you can pick up quite a bit of product with the L'Oreal mascaras. I feel like all the rest of the mascaras that I've used to use on my clients basically have either dried out really quickly, or I feel like I can't get the accurate amount of product I want from the applicators. I also like the L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara. So that one's the one that pretty much was like a dupe for the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara in its day. If you guys have, you know, been on YouTube for like a really long time, then that one's a dupe for it. Sorry, I keep forgetting to mention prices too. So the Lash Paradise mascara is $10.99, so it's a little bit more expensive than the Voluminous mascara, and that one is $8.99. Next product is false lashes. So Ardell obviously makes really, really good false lashes, so does Kiss, and both of them are about $11.99 for a 5-pack, I want to say. If you think about it, it's not really cost efficient to like buy 5-packs every single time, because obviously if you do bridal, or if you even do any other thing where you just take like a mass amount of people at one time, you're going to run through all 5 of those lashes in one sitting if you have 5 people. Do you know what I mean? So it's not really cost efficient to do that. So I would highly, highly suggest that you buy your eyelashes in bulk. This is definitely more of a cost efficient way, but you will definitely be spending a little bit more money up front, if that makes sense. But it makes the lashes maybe about $1.50 to $2 a lash. So that's actually really good when you think about it that way. And you get like a ton of lashes at one time. So I would go on to Friends Beauty. Friends Beauty is a really good company to go through because you get a wide variety of brands, you get your pro discount, and then you can also buy lashes in bulk. So I would definitely recommend you do that option. Again, if you do it that way, you spend like $1.50 to $2 a lash, and you can buy a massive amount of lashes at one time and then get them all shipped to you at one time. So then you basically have like 100 lashes just sitting around and you don't have to restock as often. Going on to actual face primer. So I'm going to say that the LA Girl Pro Primer is honestly one of my favorites from the drugstore, and it's only like $7, which is really, really good. That one's a more like... It's more of a smoothing primer. It does work really well for all skin types, especially people who have larger pores. It also is completely clear, so it doesn't leave any sort of white cast on people with deeper complexions. Definitely watch out for that too. If you guys have a primer that is like a lighter toned color or something, or it comes out white, please know that it's not going to work on people with deeper complexions because it will leave a huge white cast on people's faces, and that is very hard to correct. The other option for a primer is the Maybelline Master Prime. That one's really, really good too as well. And that one is $9.99, so it's a little bit more expensive, but $10 for a drugstore primer honestly isn't unheard of anymore. Next, the Maybelline Fit Me foundation for a foundation in your kit is really good. So they have a matte version. They also have a dewy version as well. I really like the matte version, and it actually does work really, really well on dry people's skin too. That one also comes in a wide variety of shade ranges, and it's also only $7.99. Really good for a foundation. It's about a medium to full coverage foundation, I would say. It's a little bit more of a thicker kind of consistency, but it can be thinned out really easily. So just make sure that you go in with really light layers. If you do, don't be packing on all the foundation and everything because it can get kind of cakey. Also, the other tried and true foundation is the Revlon Color Stay. So it pretty much has the same finish, the same formula as the Maybelline one does. Also, I usually get this question a lot as far as what colors you want to start out with for your foundations. So I can't really necessarily tell you in each of these ranges what colors to get because I don't know what kind of skin tones you guys work on. Which brings me to my point is that you definitely want to keep in mind the skin tones that you work on. So for instance, I usually work on a fair to about tan skin tone range normally. I do have every once in a while a deeper complexion, but usually it's in the fair to tan range, so that's usually the amount of foundations that I usually keep. And then I also maybe have like 1 or 2 deeper complexion foundations that I can mix in with the other ones and kind of get that middle range. But again, you guys want to make sure that you're really conscious of the actual skin tones that you work on because you don't want to basically be buying like every other foundation shade in a range when it has like 60 different foundations because then you're spending like a whole bunch of money on 30 foundations and then 20 of those you may not be using. Also, I would highly recommend you at least start out with 4 foundations, but I would kind of say for comfort wise, maybe have 6. And you want to basically have a range of cool foundations, neutral foundations, and also yellow tone foundations. So just make sure you have like a kind of a variety of them and then you can intermix within them. Moving on to concealers, the 2 that I highly recommend are actually both from Maybelline. I think Maybelline honestly just does really, really good at complexion products, so I usually gravitate toward those if I'm doing more affordable products. So I would highly recommend the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. These are actually the ones that I started out with when I first started out with makeup. They also have a more like luminous slash dewy kind of finish to them. I really, really think that it's really good to have more of a hydrating concealer as opposed to a matte one, so it works on a wide variety of skin types. I feel like when you use a super mattifying concealer, kind of like the Tarte Shape Tape, even though that one's really good, if you have somebody who has a lot of creases underneath their eyes or they're really dry underneath their eyes, it doesn't really work very well. Plus, if you're working on somebody who has more oily skin, you can always set dewy concealers with a powder and then it sets it really well and it doesn't get oily. So I feel like hydrating concealers are honestly the better option as opposed to mattifying ones. The other one that's from Maybelline that I would highly recommend is the Maybelline Master Conceal, and that one comes out of a tube. So that one's almost kind of like the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye if you guys have ever used that one before. It's a little bit thicker of a consistency, but it works really well as an eyeshadow base. So if you guys don't want to invest in a separate eyeshadow primer, you can also use concealers as them too. So the Maybelline Master Conceal can double as an eyeshadow primer, and then it also can double as a concealer. So keep in mind, use multitasking products like that because it works really well and also works in your favor. The Maybelline Fit Me Concealer is $6.49 and the Maybelline Master Conceal is $8.99. So the Master Conceal is a little bit more expensive, but you also are getting more product in the tube. A little bit goes a very long way since that is a super pigmented full coverage concealer. So you don't need a lot of product. That one's gonna last you a lot longer, so that's why it is also $2 more. I wanted to touch on this really quickly before I move on. So foundations, I only mentioned 2 different kinds of liquid foundations, but there's also powder foundations and there's also cream foundations too. I feel like with liquid foundations, personally, it's a lot easier to mix and match and get colors right when you're a beginner as opposed to doing a cream foundation or a powder foundation. Also, powder foundations, you can't obviously mix them, so you have to get a wide variety of colors going on in powder foundations, and that means you'll also be spending a lot more money too since you need almost like every single skin tone in that range, you know what I mean? Cream foundations are a very good option though, and they are very, very affordable, and you don't have to like individually buy products if you don't want to, because usually with cream foundations, they come in a palette by themselves. So the palettes are usually between about $15 to $30, I want to say, but there are a ton of brands that make cream foundation palettes, like Graftobian makes them, Ben Nye makes them. BH Cosmetics makes them, but they literally have every single skin tone that you need in one palette. So that is nice because then you can buy like that one palette as opposed to trying to find like every single color for that range. Moving on to actual powders. So there are two different options for loose powders, and you can also do pressed. As far as loose powders, obviously you guys know, I already said that Maybelline does really well at complexion products, and they also do well at powders too. So they do have a pressed version of their Maybelline Fit Me powder, and they also do have a loose version too. Both of them are really, really good, honestly. They're both $6, so you can't really go wrong with them. They come in a wide variety of ranges and everything. They are completely unscented, which I really like. Then the NYX HD powder is actually a compact powder. They are $10 a piece, so a little bit pricier, but they are really, really good, especially people that are oily. They definitely do mattify really, really well. You can also use the RCMA No Color powder, and that one's really, really good as well. That one's a little bit more expensive, but that is a pro makeup artist brand. Then you can also do the Ben Nye powders, which you guys have probably also heard about before. Those come in loose versions, and so does the RCMA one. So yeah, just know that there's literally a wide variety of powders that you can choose from that are honestly pretty affordable, but those are definitely my top picks. Next up are face products. So I definitely would highly recommend doing a face palette. Morphe actually has a really good variety of face palettes. So they have a whole entire bronzer palette if you want to. It's like a bronzer slash contour palette that they have. That one's $25. Again, a little bit more on the pricier side, but if you think about it, you're getting like a ton of shades in that $25 range. Morphe also has blush palettes as well, and those are also $25. And then BH Cosmetics is the blush palette that I actually first started out with. They have 3 different versions, I believe, and they're $18.50. As far as highlighters, Morphe, of course, does have a highlighter palette with a wide variety of colors inside of them, so you can literally use it on every single skin tone. So that is $22. I started out with the Sephora Illuminate palette, and that one has 6 different large pans in them, and they have a wide variety of colors in it, and that is $10. Then the NYX Born to Glow palette is $25, and that one also is a really good highlighter palette as well with a wide variety of colors in it. And after we are all done with the face, you want to top everything off with the setting spray. So I have 3 different setting sprays that I highly, highly recommend that are pretty darn affordable. So first is the Milani Make It Last setting spray. That one's really, really good. It's $8.99, and the NYX Matte setting spray is $8.50. They also have a dewy one as well, but I like the matte version a little bit better. I feel like it holds a little bit longer. Then the Morphe Continuous Mist setting spray is $16. Please keep in mind that one is scented, the other 2 are not. So in case you don't want something that's like super florally scented or anything, or you have a client that's super sensitive to smells, definitely keep in mind that that one may not work. But I really like the Continuous Mist setting spray because it literally comes out of an aerosol can, and it also is a very, very fine mist that you're spraying on, so you're not like dousing people in spray or anything. It just seems a lot more gentle. So yeah, I would definitely recommend those 3 as far as setting sprays. Next, I want to talk about lipsticks. So first of all, there are lip liners, and I would definitely recommend lip liners from these 2 brands. So Morphe does really well at lip liners, and those are only $5 a piece. And then NYX has lip liners as well, and those are $4 a piece. Moving on to lipsticks, the NYX Butter lipsticks are really great. They are $10 a piece. They have a really wide variety of ranges, and also the nudes are super, super great. They have a wide variety of nude shades in there, so in case you guys are a bridal makeup artist like me, really great nude range. Good. Wet n Wild also has really good formulation for their lipsticks as well. They have a matte version, and they also have a satin version as well. So $1.99 for those. Wet n Wild has very affordable products, by the way. So like if you want to invest in brushes or anything else from Wet n Wild, really affordable brand. Then Milani has really great lipsticks as well. They also have more glossy and also matte lipsticks as well. Those are only $6. All right, so the last category is lip gloss, still sticking in the lips, but I just want to point this out that with lip gloss, I see this so often. You don't need every single shade of lip gloss possible. Like, you just don't. You need one clear lip gloss that you can mix with other lipsticks, and it makes it into a lip gloss. So don't be buying all sorts of lip glosses because you think you need like 15 different shades of lip gloss going on to match your lipsticks. No, just buy one clear gloss, and I will show you which 2 that I usually have gotten before. So I have gotten the Essence Clear Lip Gloss, and that's only $3. And then the e.l.f. Lip Gloss, and that's also $3 as well. So both of these are very affordable lip glosses. Again, you want to use disposables with it, so you can't use the actual applicators. If you so choose to want to have actual colored glosses, if that's like the only thing that you want to put on your clients that day and you don't want to deal with the lipstick, the NYX butter glosses are phenomenal. They smell like a cream cheese frosting, to be totally honest, and they're delightful. But they have a wide variety of ranges from nude all the way to bold reds and vampy colors too. So in case you guys need a wide variety of lip glosses, definitely the NYX butter glosses are the way to go, and they are only $5. I won't be talking about liquid lipsticks because I don't use any liquid lipsticks on my clients. The reason being is that they're really drying. The other reason is that I usually give my brides touch-up kits, and even though liquid lipsticks last for a really long time, it also will kind of start to rub off if you have oily foods or if they're breaking down like while eating or something. And I want to have something for my brides to touch up with. And obviously, as you guys know, it's really impossible to depot liquid lipsticks and put them in jars without them drying up in the jar. And that's the reason that I do not use liquid lipsticks. So in case you guys are wondering, that's the reason for that. Anyways, guys, that is it. I got through this whole entire list. Super proud of myself. Had to restart my camera a few times, but we got there and I'm happy about that. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Please leave all your comments and any other product suggestions that you guys have for fellow makeup artists down below in the comments. If you guys did enjoy the video, definitely go ahead and give me a big thumbs up, as well as also hitting that subscribe button if you guys have not subscribed to my channel. I upload a ton of makeup artist related content. You won't want to miss out on Thursday's video because I did do a little question and answer series where I asked you guys to submit either problems or issues that you've encountered on your makeup artist jobs that I can answer for you guys. And I did that on YouTube, and I also did that on my Instagram too. I got a ton of feedback from it, so I'm really excited to hear your guys' scenarios. So you guys definitely don't want to miss that, especially if you guys submitted the questions. You'll definitely want to hear the answers. I hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. All right, bye.